Hey true crime fans, welcome to Worldwide Crime Files. Today we're diving into a story that's as haunting as it is fascinating, a tale that's echoed through the centuries and still unsettles those who hear it. Today I'm pulling you deep into a case that horrified Europe nearly 2 centuries ago, and still sends chills down my spine. This is not just a story of violence, but of a mind that left experts baffled and a nation in shock. France, 1835. Picture a sleepy rural village where life is hard, but predictably so. The days are long, the work is grueling, and the world outside seems distant and unchanging. Until one day, that peace is shattered. The village is rocked by a crime so brutal, so unexpected, that it will be whispered about for generations. A mother, a sister, and a young brother, brutally murdered. The horror of the scene is almost unimaginable, even to hardened investigators. But the killer? Not a shadowy stranger or desperate thief. Not an outsider, but someone from within their own walls. He was their son, Pierre Rivière, a young man whose name would soon be known across the continent. And what shocked Europe more than the killings themselves was his handwritten confession. Calm, articulate, and coldly logical. It was as if he was writing an essay, not confessing to murder. Let's get into it. Let's unravel the mind of Pierre Rivière and the events that led to one of the most infamous crimes in French history. Pierre Rivière was born in Normandy in 1815. He grew up surrounded by rolling fields, ancient traditions, and a community that valued conformity above all else. Rural France wasn't kind. Long days, rigid rules, little warmth. For families like the Rivière, survival meant hard work and even harder hearts. Pierre was different, quiet, withdrawn, the kind of kid adults side-eye and kids bully. He never quite fit in, always on the outside looking in, but inside his home, things were much, much worse. The tension simmered behind closed doors, turning every meal into a silent standoff. Pierre's father was passive, letting his domineering, emotionally abusive wife run the show. The power dynamic was clear, and it left scars on everyone. Pierre worshipped his dad and absolutely hated his mother. His feelings grew darker with every passing year. The household was a battlefield. Arguments erupted over the smallest things, and Pierre was caught in the crossfire. Pierre watched his mother tear down his father day after day, and to him, it was more than just cruelty. It was injustice. He saw himself as a witness to a slow, daily tragedy. Young Pierre started seeing himself not as a victim, but as an avenger. He began to believe he had a mission, a purpose that only he could fulfill. The one who would rescue his father, whatever it took. He became obsessed, isolated. His thoughts grew darker, more intense, as he withdrew from everyone around him. Wandering the fields alone, reading religious texts, fantasizing about heroism, and then about murder. His mind twisted justice and violence together, blurring the line between right and wrong. Yes, murder, not out of rage, but as a calculated solution. Pierre convinced himself that only through blood could he restore balance to his world. He believed killing his mother would free his father from suffering. In his mind, it was an act of twisted mercy. But what about his siblings? If he left them alive, wouldn't they suffer too? Or worse, turn on their father? The logic of his plan grew more warped, more absolute. So, Pierre decided mercy required destruction. He convinced himself that only by erasing his family could he save the one person he loved. He'd kill them all. The decision was chilling in its finality. On June 3, 1835, he picked up a billhook, a farm tool meant for branches, not blood. He waited. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the house itself sensed what was coming. And then, with horrifying precision, he struck. First his mother, then his sister, then his little brother. Each attack determined, deliberate. The violence was swift, methodical, and left no room for doubt about his intent. Afterward, Pierre didn't run. He walked away, calm as if he'd just finished a chore. The coldness of his demeanor stunned everyone who saw him. The village exploded in panic. Rumors spread like wildfire, and fear gripped every household. When Pierre was finally caught, he didn't just confess, he wrote a memoir. Memoir of Pierre Rivière, having slaughtered my mother, my sister, and my brother. It was chilling. His words were eerily calm, almost detached, as if he were describing someone else's actions. Pierre explained his motives with disturbing clarity, arguing that he'd acted out of justice and sacrifice, not insanity, not regret, just certainty. He described his actions as if they were the only logical path, leaving readers unsettled by his conviction. His words spread through France. Newspapers printed excerpts, and the public was both horrified and fascinated by the mind behind the crime. Doctors, judges, philosophers, they all obsessed over one question. Was Pierre mad, or just coldly rational? He went to trial. The debate raged in courtrooms and salons alike, dividing opinion across the country. Sentenced to death, then commuted to life because no one could decide. Was he insane, or terrifyingly sane? The uncertainty haunted everyone involved in the case. He died in prison by suicide at 25, never taking back a word. His silence in the end was as chilling as his confession. Almost 200 years later, his case still haunts us, not just for the violence, but for the mind behind it. The questions he raised remain unanswered. Pierre forces us to ask, can intelligence and madness walk hand in hand? Is a moral argument a defense or a warning? His story lingers in the minds of psychologists and philosophers even today. Pierre Rivière was certain he was right. That certainty, that unwavering belief, is what makes his story so terrifying. That certainty, that unshakable belief, can turn anyone into something monstrous. It's a chilling reminder of how conviction, when twisted, can lead to horror. If you want more dark cases where psychology meets horror, hit subscribe. There are countless stories where the line between sanity and madness is razor thin. And remember, the most dangerous killers don't act without reason. They act because they believe they have one. Stay curious, stay safe, and keep questioning the darkness that sometimes hides in plain sight.